Moxichehra. The plans below show the ground floor of a library in 2001 and how it was redeveloped in 2008. The plans illustrate the ground floor of a library in 2001 and how it was redeveloped in 2009. Moxichehra, I think here your introduction needs a bit of paraphrasing. You just copied exactly how it was written in the prompt. So try to paraphrase even a little, okay? Overall, uh, so firstly, before I start, the thing you need to pay attention, you have to write. You have to write more than 150 words for task 1. And here I can see your main bodies and your overall together make up 114 words, which is not really good because it's going to affect your task response. So I would really suggest writing more for your overall for your main bodies and make up more than 150 words. Okay, so overall the library became more modern with some new areas added. So I think here areas is not really a suitable word. You could write something like facilities. Yes. uh, and the layout changed. So your overview is too simple and do not have some specific specific features included. Uh, you are making only one sentence. I think your overview needs to have at least 2 or 3 sentences to get a high score. So here we have a library, school library, right? Ground floor. We have entrance, library stay, self-help, uh, history, fiction, newspaper, tables. And we have tables, computers. So we have a number of new facilities here and tables. We have films and DVDs. Tables were rearranged. So, for example, you could write something like overall, there was a dramatic transformation in the layout of the library, library with the introduction of some new sections such as such as uh, new new facilities such as computers, computers, um, computers, and a number of new, a number, a number of new book sections, book sections, book sections, more sitting area, more sitting area for students were added as well while 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 there are there are several sections that remained unchanged, including including a librarian's desk, librarian desk. So I think here the only section that remained unchanged was librarian's desk. While a librarian's librarian's desk was the only section which remained unchanged. Unchanged. Librarian section. So section. I think this can be a sample for overview. So there was a dramatic transformation in the layout of the library. Library layout katta o'zgarish bo'ldi with the introduction of some new facilities such as computers. Misol uchun kompyuterlarda introduction bilan with the introduction of new computers and a number of new book sections va bir nechta yangi kitob hududlari qo'shildi. More sitting area for students were added as well. Yangi o'tirish joylari ham qo'shildi. While xuddi shu paytda a librarian's desk was the only section which remained unchanged. O'zgarmasdan qolgan yagona section librarian's desk edi. To'g'rimi? In 2001, there were tables in the center of the library. Fiction books were placed at the top, while history and self-help sections were on the left. Okay? So newspapers and magazines were on the right. The librarian desk was near the entrance and the stairs were in the bottom right corner. Okay. By 2009, many changes were made. Many changes had been made, right? Had been made. Why? Because you are giving the period, the year which by, uh, which means you need to use here past perfect, not past simple. The center area was changed into a children's area with fewer tables, computers and the films and DVD section. Computers and films and DVD section. So here you have two ends. I think computers and along with computers and films along with DVDs, right? Or maybe you could also say computers and a section for films and DVDs. So DVDs. A section for films and DVDs were added on the right. The book sections were moved to the left side. The librarian desk and stairs stayed in the same place. Again, for getting a higher score for your grammatical range and accuracy, I think you need to include more compound sentences, and also you need to include more of relative clause, relative clause sentences too. For example, we have these two. Okay, we have these two. So the book sections were moved to the left side. The book sections. Okay. Here I have different types of books, right? I have different types of genres. So what I'm gonna do, new genres of books were added to the left side of the layout, while the librarians desk and stairs stayed unchanged. O'zgarmasdan qoldi. demak yangi janralari kitoblarni qo'shildi chap tomonga layoutni. And I think it will be really smart had added if we had added these genres, right? Uh, New genres of books such as history, history, fiction, self-help. Uh, it says kitchen economics law. So kitchen economics and law were added to the left side of the layout while library stays and stayed unchanged. There was also a kitchen area in the middle of a book, in the middle of sections for books. There was also a kitchen. Bu yerda shuningdek kitchen hududi bor edi. Kitoblar uchun hududlarni o'rtasida. Demak, ko'paytirib yaxshiroq bog'lovchilar bilan yozishingiz mumkin edi, aniqroq qilib. Demak, so'zlarni ko'paytiring. Relative clause sentencelar ham qo'shing. You need to include more compound sentences. Compound sentencelarda ham ko'proq qo'shing. Gaplaringiz ko'pi simple, oddiy bo'lib qolgan. You need to also improve your overview for maps, okay? And also you need to give more paraphrasing for your introductions. You are not doing as much as work you need to do, okay? You should do. So next, Abdulfayiz. Here we have the report from Abdulfayiz. He has written the line graph. The line graph illustrates the average cost of monthly contract self-services in a European country between and September in 2002. Overall, Alpha started at the lowest price, at the lowest price, and become, so it needs to be became, because we are giving in past simple, and the past simple form of become is became. The most expensive, what? Now you need to give here now. The most expensive what? The most expensive self-service or the most expensive sell contract is the final month. Followed by Domo, despite dominating in the beginning of the month. Uh, of the month of the year, right? Because it was 2002 and it's year, uh, despite dominating is the beginning of the year. I think here you don't have to give despite which dominated, right? Which dominated qaysi ustunlik qilgan yilni boshida. While legs exhibited an increase. The reverse was true for SimTX and remained the lowest. So you could have written something like the reverse was true for SimTX, TX, which had the uh, we had which had the lowest price by the end of the period. Muddatda oxiriga kelib eng past narxi bor edi. So 1 minute. remained the lowest. Yeah, yeah. So, which had the lowest price by the end of the period. Starting at 5 euros in January, the price of alpha exhibited a minimal rise to 7 euros in April, after which it declined moderately to 5 euros. But, okay, here you have to end your sentence because you have already given three of them. You started with gerund clause, then uh, you gave us a compound sentence, and I think uh, it is enough. And have ever, have ever, this was followed by a uh, surge dramatic. I guess it needs to be a dramatic surge in September, reaching 25 euros. However, likewise, after fluctuating at around at 15 euros, the cost of Domo rose progressively by 9 euros, but decreased slowly to 23 euros when, okay, when it decreased. Yani qachon tushdi u aytib ketmadingiz. Before increasing to 18 euros in the final month, the price of legs dropped constantly to 10, notably after reaching without any tube. Okay, after reaching 14 euros, the cost of Simtex saw a steady reduction to 8 euros. Okay, good, Abdulfayiz. I think you did understand your mistakes, and I hope you will fix them. Uh, so, what I would suggest is to be more precise with your overview, and please arrange your overview logically and also in order, because the time when I read your overview, it was a bit confusing. Okay, a bit confusing. So here we have a bar chart by Abdulfayiz. The bar chart illustrates the percentage of renewable energy in total supply in Australia, Sweden, Iceland, Turkey between. Okay, overall, Iceland ranked first in all categories, while the proportion of Turkey ranked second. The index of Australia decreased minimally, whereas the figure for Sweden exhibited an increase over the period. So starting at 45% in the year, in the beginning year, like in the initial year, başlangıç müddette, başlangıç yılda, the percentage of Iceland experienced a dramatic upward trend up, uh, over the period. So Abdulfaiz, bunaqa gaplarni odatda biz over the period deb turib odatda overviewlarda beramiz. The percentage of Iceland experienced a dramatic upward trend to X percent in Y year. Okay, in Y year. You need to be precise. Ya'ni aniq bo'lishingiz kerak. Nimani qachon berayotganingiz bo'yicha. Nechi foizga o'sdi, qachon. Notably, the proportion of Turkey rose constantly from 2, after which it showed a moderate decrease to in the final year. Okay, there was a progressive reduction in the percentage of Australia from 9% to just 5% in 2010, whilst the proportion of Sweden climbed slowly to 9% by the end of the period. How many words do we have? 135. 135 words. Abdulfayiz, you need to write more than 150 words, and I think the problem here is that you are being you are giving information in really short sentences. You are just describing increases and decreases of each category in one or two sentences, while it needs to be in three or four sentences. For example, uh, you need to give firstly the first figure of the given category in the first year, and then you need to describe, if it's possible, each decrease and each decline by grouping them into three or four sentences. For example, if you have 5 or 6 years, uh, and let's say, three or four, if you have three or four notable changes in the figure of a certain category, you need to write each one, okay? So, for example, here the proportion of Sweden climbed to 9% by the end of the period. You are not giving the first percentage of Sweden in the first year in 1997. You are just saying it just climbed to 9% by the end of the period. I think you need to be more precise. You need to give more details in your main bodies, okay? Main body'larda ko'proq ma'lumot berishingiz kerak deb o'ylayman. Shunda breathinglikda so'zlar ortadi. And of course, again, your overview is a bit confusing, unorganized. Why it is unorganized? So, Abdul Faiz, you need to understand you can't unorganize it. Why is saying this? So your overview is not organized. What I mean here, you said Iceland ranked first in all categories. Okay, that's okay. While the proportion of Turkey ranked second. Bu endi ikkinchi bo'ldi deyapsiz. Odatda biz birinchi bo'ldi deymiz, ikkini aytamiz, keyin 3-4ni ham aytib ketamiz. Bir yo'l agar 3 ta 4 ta kategoriya bo'lsa. Lekin birinchi, ikkinchini aytyapsiz, keyin bu o'st tushdi deyapsiz, Sweden o'sdi deyapsiz. Ya'ni tartibsiz. Misol uchun, birinchi key featurengiz bo'lishi mumkin. Key feature that you are going to give in your overview can be something like uh, okay, the highest, and your second key feature can be the lowest figure, the lowest category, and then maybe you can give increased categories, and you can give decreased categories, and even if you already mentioned it in the first key feature, a particular category, again you need to be more precise. Agar masalan birinchi key featureda eng balandi mana bu edi deb aytib ketgan bo'lsangiz, eng pasti bu edi deb, keyin bular yana takrorlab aytishingiz mumkin o'sgan kategoriyalar qatorida yoki tushgan kategoriyalar qatorida. Lekin hozir sizniki tartibsiz. Menimcha tushundingiz. Rahmat.